Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. This small function has been arranged by City 42, the local channel of Lahore, City 41, the local channel of Faisalabad, the channel 24, which is news channel, a national news channel, and last but not the least, the City 42 newspaper. First of all, I want to say welcome to the luminaries sitting here, which are many, but first and foremost, Mr. Zachary V. Harkin Ryder, the Consul General, the outgoing Consul General of the USA, who is briefly called Zach. He has completed his over 2 years in Lahore. He's been in Pakistan for 3 years, and he'll be sorely missed here in Lahore because although Zach has an experience of working in conflict zones and post-conflict countries, according to his the website which quotes that, and has a rich experience of security issues. But we saw a soft image of Zach during his stay in Lahore, that he has done a lot for Lahore, in the sense that he has taken interest in the soft image of Pakistan and portraying the soft image of the United States in Pakistan with the able assistance of his staff. And he has done a thorough job in this context. And another thing which I would also like to mention is his zeal in being very candid. I have seen many of his predecessors and known them personally, but perhaps I told him also the other day when we were over there at the consulate that Zach is very forthcoming with the media, and sometimes we ask him that, speaking very candidly on Pakistan-US relations, on the Pakistan's relations with not only with the United States but with Afghanistan and the quadrilateral talks and very, very complicated security issues which he is very well versed, and is very well briefed and has the authority to brief the media on the record, which I think it's a rarity amongst the US diplomats which have been posted before him. So hopefully in Pakistan, Mr. Zach would have known that Pakistan is never a dull moment. If you are a Consul General in Lahore, or a political officer or a diplomat, that something or the other is always happening. As soon as the Prime Minister is elected, Mr. Yusuf Gilani, the former Prime Minister, will know not only the rumors but the mechanizations to oust him start. The military and civilian relationships are another very interesting subject, which if it was not there, I don't know what anchors like Suhail Badayach and myself will do. And then, of course, the living below the poverty line, majority of the population, crime, terrorism. So there's never a dull moment. Zach is going to a very, very cool place, which is the United Kingdom. He is going to be the political man there at the US Embassy. And maybe he'll find some excitement there also in the form of the Brexit process, so he'll keep himself busy. And he's going to London. A lot of our guests are not here because they're in London right now. Because to Pakistanis, we have the burden of the Commonwealth, and we have been part of the Commonwealth, part of the British Empire. So all of us go for holidays to Britain. So we'll, Zach, keep on bothering you there, and hopefully you won't mind. And with these remarks, I will not take much of your time. Already we are behind time. So I will again say welcome to Zach, and also we'll sorely miss him. And inshallah, we wish him a very prosperous career and a life which is ahead of him. And thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, who waited patiently for Mr. Zach to come and to attend this small gathering. This is, by the way, Mr. Zach's last official gathering in Lahore, or rather informal gathering. And this is a tribute from the City 42 channel, which is a local channel, and Mohsen Naqvi, it is his brainchild, and he has been able to fill this niche market so much, in such a competent manner. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Arif, for that introduction. It's indeed a great honor for me to be introduced this evening by one of the most distinguished figures in Pakistani journalism. And indeed, I would also note the presence of Mr. Sohail Waraich, another great Pakistani journalistic institution here with us this evening. It's a great testament to the institution that Mohsen Naqvi has built at 42 and 24 and now 41, that such talented, strong performers are here in the audience with us this evening. I also wanted to mention one other good friend, Mr. Mubashar Luqman, who is not with us this evening. I think he's in Karachi, but I did have occasion to say farewell to Mubashar also. You know, there's an old joke about being late to your own funeral. Tonight I was late to my own farewell. Maybe, to spin it positively, I'll say it was born of a reluctance to acknowledge that I'm actually leaving. Indeed, I prefer not to think about it, and I've been living in the moment really right up until the end, and not perhaps doing the planning that I should have to leave Lahore. And I think the reason why is not that I'm a bad planner, but because I'm fundamentally very reluctant to say goodbye to a city, to a province, to a country that has given me so much over the course of the last 3 years. It's been a privilege to be in Pakistan, and it's been a privilege to be here for long enough to understand something of the texture of the country. Many of my colleagues only have the chance to serve for a year, 2 years. Very few American diplomats in recent years have served in Pakistan for 3. So I'm privileged, uniquely privileged as a minority in that respect. So many good friends I see around the room. Former Prime Minister Yusuf Raza Gilani has honored us with his presence, Minister Sindhu, Jaz Chowdhury, many good friends, many good people who have taught me a lot. Shaista and Pervez Malik, I could go on and on. Zakia Shahnawaz, each one of you a great ambassador for Pakistan. Each one of you in diverse ways doing things that help this country to achieve the limitless potential that I believe it has. I said the other day at a major business event where I was giving a speech that Pakistan is an Asian economic success story waiting to happen. They won't happen automatically, we know that. We know it'll take effort, it'll take commitment to reform, it'll take political will, but it won't take more commitment or more will than what you've already shown in the last 3 years. As you brought together a national consensus to counter terrorism and violent extremism, as you made this country materially safer than it had been for several years, as you work to solve the tremendous challenge posed by Pakistan's energy deficit. Each one of those challenges is so much harder than, say, improving the ease of doing business indicators or protecting IPR or improving the dispute resolution mechanism. Lots of low-hanging fruit is out there that you can grasp and pull down, and in so doing, start to change investor perceptions of Pakistan. Until people see what I've seen by virtue of my privileged position here on the ground over 3 years, that this country has tremendous untapped economic potential. The capacity to grow not at 4.5%, but at 7.5%, 8%, higher. That potential exists. Look at it this way. Right now you're at 4.5% GDP growth. Economists agree that if you can fix the energy crisis, you'll add 2 to 3% to that GDP growth figure, potentially putting you alongside the current fastest growing economy in the world, 7.5%. That's not unattainable. That's not pie in the sky. Why? Because by the end of next year, you'll have 5,000 additional megawatts on the grid. Then the question increasingly is not one of production, but of transmission and distribution. Also a challenge. But if you've beaten security, if you've beaten the energy production gap, you can beat that too. When I travel around Punjab, when I see great industries, many of them represented in the room tonight by Aptima, when I see young folks at Plan 9 and Plan 10, and at the LUMS Entrepreneurship Incubation Center, birthing brilliant, marketable concepts that can grow your economy and grow jobs and redefine Pakistan in the eyes of the world, I see a bright future. I see companies succeeding in spite of the challenges, and I think, what if we fix those challenges? What would they achieve then? What growth would they generate then? American companies are generating, we estimate, 60,000 jobs in Pakistan right now. But we can do more. We can do much more. The U.S.-Pakistan economic relationship can and will grow, I'm convinced of it, as people increasingly come to understand the tremendous potential that this country has. So I leave here, as I said in the Friday Times article, a guarded optimist. Guarded only, as I explained to an interviewer this evening, because of our inherent human incapacity to really foretell the future, which should introduce an element of humility into our analysis. But otherwise, deeply convinced that what I've seen here in 3 years is an impressive success story, a new narrative of Pakistan, waiting to be told, waiting to be appreciated by the broader world. You can do it. You can do it because there are so many strong entrepreneurs across this country. Mohsin Naqvi, if I may take his name as our host, is a great example. Look at how Mohsin has gone in 20 years from being a CNN anchor to being a guy who owns a major media company, who's growing jobs, who's giving people access to information, who's giving expression to the localism of Lahore and Faisalabad and other places that deserve their place on the map. Significant cities now finding their expression in City 42, City 41, and we hope other channels to follow. It's a great example of how one successful, hardworking Pakistani entrepreneur built his business and built a whole mini economy within the media sector. How many success stories like this have I seen in my time here? Too many to recount, especially as our time together grows short. But if I leave here with a heart less heavy than it might otherwise have been, it is because of two factors. One, those incipient success stories. And two, the fact that maybe, just maybe, if I get lucky, I'll come back one day. Maybe not in official capacity, maybe even better as a tourist, so I can ride the trains and I can go to Gilgit-Baltistan and SWAT, all the things they won't let me do in my official capacity. But mostly to see all of you again. And as Arif noted, I'm bound for London, so probably even before I come back to Pakistan, I can see many of you again. I sincerely hope so. Just on bookkeeping, housekeeping, my successor is a gentleman by the name of Yuri Fedku. Yuri will be arriving at the end of August. He's a strong diplomat. He's someone very excited about the prospect of serving in Pakistan. And I know that you'll give him the same warm reception and the same education that you have given me and for which I am so very deeply grateful to each and every one of you. So friends, in my 3 years here, we have built a better, stronger, and more resilient U.S.-Pakistan relationship. We've continued building an edifice that is 60 years old, that has been built upon and elaborated upon by generations of American and Pakistani policymakers. And the reason why a succession of our administrations and a succession of yours have invested in that relationship is because the U.S.-Pakistan relationship was, is, and will be one that delivers for both parties. We've done our bit together to ensure that it delivered in my 3 years here. So I express my gratitude to Mohsen for hosting this event, express my gratitude for all of you for coming and for being patient as I, out of a scheduling error, showed up a little bit late. And I do hope that our paths will cross again in this small world. Thank you all. Pakistan Zindabad.
Come on.